Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 10 favorite bronzers. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay guys, so today we have a mix of powder bronzers and we have some cream bronzers, which is not something I thought I would ever say. But I'm just going to be sharing my top 10 favorites. This was really hard to do. I love all of these bronzers, but I had to pick an order. So coming in at number 1 is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. I have the shade Forever Sun-Kissed. What I love about this is this is a high-end bronzer. It really is. This is drugstore pricing, but a very high-end product. This is such a good bronzer. It blends, it lasts, it looks beautiful on the skin, it doesn't pull too orange, it's perfect. I really do like this one. And the packaging, easy to store, it looks nice. I really like this one. This is a great bronzer. Coming at number 9 is a very expensive bronzer, and this is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is her airbrush bronzer, and I have the shade One Fair. So this is obviously a very large pan, and this is definitely a very beautiful blendable bronzer. It definitely looks very airbrushed. It lives up to its name in that regard, and it's definitely a very matte formula as well. The only thing is that she only has 4 shades in this, and the shade Fair is almost too fair for me. So as somebody who is very fair naturally, it's weird that a bronzer doesn't even want to show up on my skin. So I find that a little weird. I do wish her shade range would improve a little bit, but this is still a very beautiful bronzer. The packaging is gorgeous. It's huge. You get a ton in here. So I do think it's a very beautiful bronzer. Okay, coming in at number 8 is a bronzer from one of my newer favorite brands, and this is from Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Bronzer. I have the shade Light. So this is the first powder bronzer he released. He does have his Soft Sculpt Contour Stick, which I also have and don't like nearly as much. I also have his new Enhancer, but I like this a lot more. I also have this in the shade Light. This is just a really pretty powder bronzer. This sculpts the face really beautifully. It's blendable, it's light, the shade is gorgeous. It's called Light, but it's definitely a little bit more fair, so I think if you're near my skin tone, this is the right shade for you. If you're, I would say, a medium skin tone, definitely go up a shade because this is pretty fair. I just like how this blends, and I just love how natural it looks on the skin. It definitely sculpts the face a little bit, but in the most generous way. If you're looking for a bronzer that you can kind of get away with the whole bronzer thing, definitely go with this. That's my favorite thing to do. I am too lazy to go in and contour and then bronze and do all of those things. So I like a bronzer that has a perfect tone to it, that's not going to pull too cool, that it looks gray, but that is definitely not going to pull orange and can kind of just do both. So I love this. I think it's beautiful. Okay, coming in at number 7 is from Vesca Beauty. So this is a brand I've kind of been exploring a little bit more, just because it's a brand I don't hear quite as much about, but they have some really good products. I've tried their highlight. It's wonderful. This bronzer is gorgeous. This smells a lot like the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, but with a slight floral aspect to it. Like, it smells like the butter bronzer, but more expensive, which is fair because this is a high-end product and that is a drugstore product, but there's something about this one. It smells so nice. The shade definitely does pull a little more warm than I would like, but overall, it's really beautiful. It's very blendable. It's definitely a very finely milled powder. It looks so nice on the skin. I enjoy using this one a lot. This is one that I actually had to put away because I'm trying to use up my butter bronzer and I just kept wanting to reach for this one instead. So I would definitely definitely recommend this one. This is in the shade Kissed by Rio, which I think is their lightest shade as well. If you haven't tried this brand, I recommend checking them out. My number 6 is from LYS, and this is their No Limits Matte Bronzer. I have the shade Motivate, which is also their lightest one. I always do buy the lightest shade, by the way. This is such a nice bronzer. The price point on LYS products is also quite fair. It's more, not quite high-end pricing, but more expensive than drugstore. It's just kind of right in the middle, but it's very fair pricing. I would definitely compare their pricing to Rare Beauty, if anything. This is a really, really nice product. And this blends well. It does pull a little more warm, but it looks so beautiful on the skin. It also gives that airbrush sort of look. It's definitely one that I think I appreciate even more in the summertime because it gives such a natural bronze. I really, really like this one. It's just so easy to work with. Love this. Okay, coming at number 5 is a very new bronzer to my collection. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow bronzer. So this was her very first cream bronzer, and this is also the newest addition to the Beautiful Skin line that we saw released at the beginning of this year with her foundation. I think we're going to see a lot more products in the Beautiful Skin line. This is the bronzer, and it is beautiful. Again, the compact is huge. The packaging is beautiful, like all Charlotte Tilbury products are. The consistency of this one is very moussey as opposed to some other cream bronzers that have more of that creamy texture. This one is definitely very moussey and it's thicker. This shade in particular, again, I have the shade 1 Fair. This one is definitely more cool tone. So if you're looking for something more warm, I would recommend going a shade up. This one is another product that I like to use for that bronzer kind of look. This is cool tone enough to contour, but it also looks really pretty if you just want to use it as a regular bronzer. You can do both, but I think this is really pretty. It blends out so nicely. It's so fun to use. It's just a very luxurious experience. So I really do like this cream bronzer. It's beautiful. The packaging, again, second to none, but it's very expensive though. So if you're not willing to invest in Charlotte Tilbury, definitely pass on this. I have some other really great options. And coming in at number 4 is from Milani. So this is their Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade Sunlight. And this one is also such a nice drugstore bronzer. It's definitely what it says. It is silky, it is matte. It definitely has a matte finish to the skin, but it goes on so easily. This is another one that feels like a high-end product. And I love when that happens from the drugstore. You pay drugstore pricing and you get what feels like a high-end product. I really, really enjoy this one. I love the way this goes on. I love how it looks airbrushed. I love the look it gives the skin. And again, it's just that natural bronze look that I really go for and really enjoy. So I really, really do love this one a lot as well. If you're looking for a drugstore option, this one's wonderful. Okay, coming in at number 3 is from Rare Beauty, and this one was released at the end of 2021, and this is their Warm Wishes Bronzer Stick. I have the shade Power Boost. So the packaging is gorgeous, and it is just a stick, so it's kind of nice to use to draw it on and then just blend it with a sponge or a brush, whatever is your preference. You just twist it up. Super, super easy. What I love about this is that it is so creamy that it blends out so easily, but it's not so creamy that it just disappears and blends away. Like I have some bronzers that do that. This one is just so, so, so beautiful. I can't get enough of this cream bronzer. This one was, I first got into cream bronzers a little bit with one of the Katja stacks. I thought that was amazing. And then I think that's what made me try the Huda Beauty, which I do like. Not as much as any of the ones I've mentioned today, but I do like it. And then I picked this one up and I absolutely fell in love, and this is the one that convinced me exactly what I like and do not like in a cream bronzer. I just absolutely love how easy this one is to work with. I really enjoy it. This one had to be my top 3 without a doubt. Okay, coming in at number 2 is a cream bronzer that I thought I was in love with the Rare Beauty bronzer when that one came out. And I am. I still love it. But the one that I love the very most of all the cream bronzers is the Saie Sun Melt Cream Bronzer. This is so good. This is unbelievable. This is one that was in and out of my cart. And then finally I was in store one day and this is the last one left in the shade Light Bronze, which is the shade that I have. This is the last one and I thought, okay, well, obviously it was meant to be. And for good reason. This is incredible. This is the best cream bronzer I have ever tried. This is that perfect cream bronzer that is blendable. It looks beautiful on the skin. It gives your skin that naturally bronzed kind of a look, but it just blends out so beautifully. It melts right into the skin. It makes the skin look so healthy and radiant and just gives such a beautiful warmth to the skin. I love this. But still at my #1 spot for my most favorite ever bronzer is still the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It's just still good. It's still really good. It just looks so good on the skin whenever I use it. I enjoy using it so much. It's blendable, it smells good, it looks airbrushed. I love this bronzer. That's it. I just love this bronzer. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can't go overboard with it. I can't really mess up with this, and that's what I love. And that's what I love about most of the bronzers that I mentioned today. But they're all just so good. I have no idea when I accumulated such a large bronzer collection as somebody who never used to wear bronzer at all. But I guess that's what happens. So that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. And that's it for me today. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!